Hello everyone. In this episode, we are going to talk about Salesforce auto launched flows. Before I move forward, let me give you an outline of this episode. First, we will talk about what are auto launch flows, what are its key benefits, what are its general business use cases, and after this segment is completed, I will walk you through a step-by-step process to create your first Salesforce auto launch flow in your Salesforce org. So stay tuned till the very end. This episode is going to be very exciting and very detailed or detailed oriented towards this Salesforce auto launched flow. So let's start this episode by understanding what are Salesforce auto launch flows in its true essence. Salesforce auto launch flows are the flows that gets triggered automatically by certain events. Those events include some record changes, platform events, or some automated invocation through Apex. Unlike the unlike the screen flows, Salesforce auto launch flows doesn't require any kind of user intervention. They run automatically, which makes them ideal for the situation where we have to do some kind of record processing in the background, some sort of email automations in the background, or we have to asynchronously uh, connect with some external systems to exchange the data. So that's the one thing. For the sake of easiness, I have also highlighted these bullet points in this PPT, so you can pause this video and just go through them as per your convenience. And I believe with this, the definition of the auto launch flow is clear to you. Just to reiterate, auto launch flows are triggered automatically based on certain actions. Users can't manually trigger them. Moving on to the next part, we need to see the key points about the auto launch flows, and for that I have highlighted some of the common key features or key points of the auto launch flows in this slide. Again, this is my point of view, which I considered as a key points. If you know under another aspects of the auto launch flows or key highlights, do mention them in the comment section below. I would definitely love to hear your opinions. So let's uh, go one by one to these like let's go through these key features one by one. The first key feature here is no user interaction. As I mentioned during the overview, the auto launch flows doesn't require any sort of user interaction. They run automatically based on certain events, which leads us to the second key feature. These kind of flows are triggered by events. Those events include some record changes like after insert, after update, after delete, or some sort of platform events that you might configure in your applications that can also trigger these uh, kind of flows. The third key feature is highly flexible, which means you can customize these flows with the filters to restrict the amount of data that they can process, or even you can also configure certain conditions under which your flow will be run. So you can customize them the way you want it to take your automation game to the next level. The fourth key feature is can be called programmatically. What does this mean? As I mentioned during the overview, you can also invoke the auto launched flow from Apex scripts or Apex programs. So this makes them ideal where you want to trigger some sort of flows in terms of some actions that you take in your Apex programs or your Apex triggers. So for that kind of automation also you can consider these auto launched flows. So this is all about the basic key features. Again, these are some common key features that I highlighted here. In case you have more, do let me know in the comment section below. I will definitely love to hear your opinions. Before we move on to the common use cases, if you are getting valuable insights about like auto launch flows through our video, and you are liking the content that we are sharing on this channel, do subscribe to it, share it with your friends, and help us to reach maximum people who can take benefit from our educational videos. So let's see, let's go on to the next thing. That is the common use cases for the auto launch flows. Here I have highlighted some common business use cases in which we can consider auto launch flows over other types of flows. This is my list. As I mentioned earlier, if you have more suggestions, more ideas where we can leverage the auto launch flows, do let me know in the comment section below. I would be happy to see your opinions. So some common business use cases include automated lead assignment. As you know that in Salesforce you can configure lead assignment rules for automatically assigning your leads to respective representatives. For those kind of uh, lead assignment kind of tasks, you can leverage the auto launched flows. Second is opportunity updates. For example, depending on a certain stage of the opportunity during the pipeline, you want to show different level of probability or different percentage of probability for your opportunities. So those kind of automation as well, you can leverage the auto launched flows. Then mass data updates. Sometimes what happen, like you have a parent child relationship with your records, where depending on the changes in your parent records, you have to modify all your child data spread across different objects related to your parent record. Those kind of mass data updates also you can leverage the what I say auto launched force. But before you opting for that, you have to make sure that you don't hit the governor limits that Salesforce imposes to avoid any kind of issues. The fourth, the integration with external systems. For example, you have in just for the sake of example, we can consider that you have linked your Google Calendar or Outlook calendar with your Salesforce system. So based on certain events that you register within the Salesforce for your accounts, you want to reflect the same event automatically on their respective Outlook or Google Calendar, so that everything is synchronized. So those kind of like external system integrations as well, you can configure the auto launched flows. This is all about the basic use cases in which we can what I say we can go for the auto launched flows. Here one thing to monitor, these are the common business use cases where we can leverage the auto launch flows, but all the governor limits and all things still apply to them. So to make your decision wisely before by considering the governor limits or any other system limits before opting for your auto launch flows. I hope this makes sense to you. With this, we conclude this like use cases segment of this episode. So I hope you have got the quick overview about auto launch flows, its key features, and then some of the common business use cases. Now let's consider a sample example or sample scenario in which we can leverage auto launch flows. For example, you want to update all the child data based on the change in a parent record. Let me give you an example or real world sample to elaborate this. I have an account record in Salesforce, and I have all my associated opportunities relating to that account. Here, account record is the parent one, and the opportunity records are the child records relating to that parent account record. For example, due to some reason, we are no longer working with that account, and we are marking that as an inactive account in our org, meaning that moving forward our sales reps or our team will not engage with any of the activities related to that account. In that case, what I want to happen, the moment I make an account inactive, I want that all the opportunities associated with that account should be automatically marked as the closed, lost, because we have discontinued our services for that account. So the all the open opportunities relating to that account doesn't make any sense to us. They won't give us any sort of business. So eventually we want to mark them as closed loss. In that in this kind of business situation, I can leverage auto launch flow. So what the auto launch flow will do, we will configure the auto launch flow to run on the after update event of the account record, which will identify the update operation on the account. And in the filter criteria, we want to check if the currently updated account has its is active flag to false or not. If it has is active like what I say is active flag to false, then it will query all its open opportunities by get element. Then it will loop through all of them and update its states to closed lost, and then it will perform an update. So in this kind of situation as well, we will leverage the auto launch flows, and this auto launch flow will take care of all the automation that I want in this kind of situation or in this kind of event where my account is marked as inactive. I hope this makes sense to you, and you can also think about more business use cases, more situations in which you can leverage the auto launch flow. As we have completed the first segment of this episode, where we talked about what are auto launch flows, its key features, business use cases, and a sample example. Now, as I had promised, I will walk you through the step-by-step process to create your first auto launched flow in the Salesforce org. And for this demo purpose, I have created a simple business scenario for which configure our sample flow. In case you have any other example or any other exercise that you want me to cover, do let me know in the comment section below. I will definitely bring a dedicated video on that as well. Now let's go through the requirement. So the requirement goes like this: automatically update opportunity fields based on the custom criteria. What does this mean? The next line reads, create an auto launch flow that triggers when an opportunities stage field is updated. The flow will automatically adjust the probability field based on the new stage, which means we know the entry criteria that we want to perform it on the after update event of opportunity. What we need to consider, the change in the stage field, and based on the change in the stage field, we want to update a corresponding field, which is the probability. For example, if the stage is updated to proposal price quote, here we also have the filter criteria that we want to make sure the this is an after update event on the opportunity. The stage field is changed, and it should be changed to specific value, that is proposal price quote. And once all these conditions are met, we need to update the probability to 50%. So this is a fine example of definite business requirement in which you need to for which you need to configure your auto launch flows. As an admin, it is your duty to understand the requirement, get it clarified from the stakeholders before you even start attempting your flows. So this is a pro tip here: do not start until you have a clear instructions, because half developed flows or wrongly developed flows can have adverse effects on your data or on your org. So this is a pro tip: do not proceed with the flows until you have your uh, requirements sorted out. Now let's move on to creating this flow in our org. I will go to my org. I'll go to setup. I believe you all know how to go to the setup. In case you don't know, you have to click once you have to log into your org. Go to this wrench icon, select setup option. Once you select that, this screen will be presented to you, and in the quick find, I will search for flows, and I will click on it. I'm inside flow setup. I'll click new flow since I want to create a new auto launch flow, and I'll select start from scratch. Since we are creating our very first auto launched flow, I will select start from scratch. I'll hit next, and from this type I will choose auto launched flow. Only choose the type which applies to your requirements. Here, since we are demoing the auto launched flow, I will choose this option and I'll hit create. This will allow me to what I say, bring the flow builder for my auto launched flow. So here on my flow builder, I'll first add the get records element to get all my opportunities whose what I say, stage is changed. Get, I will name it as get filtered opportunities, and as I always use a camel case naming convention for my elements, so I'll change it to this. I will choose opportunities as the object. I will select, I think, the stage feed, stage, yeah, stage name equals what I say, I want to change the stage name to, or I want to check get the opportunities where the stage name is uh, what I say, proposal price quote. I want to get all such opportunities where the stage name is proposal or price quote, proposal price quote. Yeah, that's what it is. I want to get all those opportunities. And here, how many records I want to show? I want to get all such opportunity records where stage name is equal to a proposal price quote. I'll hit save. It will ask me to give the name. So I will give it a meaningful name as auto launched flow for for proposal opportunities. You can give it any meaningful name that suits your business needs. I prefer to give it like this. And as you know, I prefer the camel case naming conventions for my element API names. So I'll give it like this. Now you must be wondering, where do we configure that after update, and is field change or not? So and that for that we, since this is an auto launched flow, it won't be invoked on its own. We need some events to trigger it. So we will also configure an record triggered flow which will call this auto launched flow as a subflow to do the processing. Now once we get all the elements, we will loop through it, and I will name it as loop because we want to update the probability on all such opportunities. Loop through field. Always remember to give a meaningful names or labels to your elements so it makes sense for you as well as for others who will look at your flow. Loop through filtered opportunity, and I'll just name it here. I'll use collection variable, that is my get element variable, to loop through the data. I'll hit save. Then I will also configure a collection variable to store my updated records and then use them in the update element. So in the resource type, I will use variable. I'll give it name as updated, where updated ops or opportunities. And here you see, for variables I'm using a prefix where, which means it will make sense to the others that this is a variable type of resource. So name your elements very carefully and very what I say, use a proper naming convention for it, and it will store the records, and it will also store the list of records. So I'll select allow multiple values. The type would be opportunity. I'll hit done. Then we are I'm just saving it so that I don't lose my changes here. With every for every loop element, I need to update the what I say probability. So for updating a value, which means we have to reassign a value, we have to use an assignment element. Assign, and I'm here giving a name as probability to each loop item. Okay, and here we'll use the loop variable, and what we want to assign probability, and what should be the value of probability. Here we'll check the probability will be set to 50% for all such opportunities where the stage is proposal price quote. So I'll go here, I'll set 50 and I'll hit save. Now our updated value is in the loop variable, it is not reflecting anywhere, so we have to add this loop variable to our collection. For that also we need to take the assignment, assign the loop. Here we are not assigning, we are adding. Add the loop item to custom collection. Here also I'll change the name. And here I'll use where opportunities, and I'll use add, and what I'll add the loop item. Done. I'll save it. So our collection resource, custom collection resource, that is where updated opportunity, will have all the updated opportunity elements which have the probability set to 50. Let it save. Then since we just have kind of in memory the updated values, in order to reflect them on the records, we have to sorry about that, we have to update the data in the database. For that we will use update records element. Update opportunities in the database. I'll use this, and here I will use because this collection stores the updated values. I'll hit save. With your DML operations, it is advisable to add a fault path. This fault path will be executed only when there is an error while updating your data. So what I'll do, I'll connect a fault path, and in fault path what we need to do, we just need to send the email alert to the user that this auto launch flow tried to run and there is some error. So I'll choose the action, and there is a pre-configured action that Salesforce provides for the flow, which is send email. I want to send the error email to the user. Send error email, and you can name it the way you want it. I want to keep it like this only. And here we have to send the set the recipient ID to whom this email should be delivered. This email should be delivered to the current user who is running this flow. So for user, and I want to choose the ID. And another thing that you have to set is the subject of your email. For subject also, I'll create a new resource variable where I will store the subject line, where error email subject. This is a basic structure for your what I say for your DML operations in the flow. You should have a fault path. That fault path should notify the users. For notifications, the general use case is to use the email alerts. But if you have another custom functionality developed for it, you can use that. But I believe we should stick to the standards that Salesforce provides rather than developing custom things for all these kind of items. But you are always open to customize your org the way you want it, and it is just a tip. And the data type would be text, and I will add a default value it. I'll name it like error occurred. Again, you can give it any value you want it in opportunity auto launched flow. Done. Along with the subject, you have to also specify the body. Generally, when the error occurs, the errors are stored within the global variable called flow.fault message. It contains the current the like state trace of the current error. So you can just pass whatever the error is coming to your users via the email alert. Once you are done, hit save. So this completes your auto launched flow, and let's debug it for now. So it didn't find any of the opportunity in the system where the stage was uh, like proposal price quote. It didn't find any of such opportunities. Let us see. Let's go to the org. Let's pick any of the opportunity from here. And let's see if we can change its what I say, its stage. Proposal price quote. Let's hit save. Let's go back to our auto launched flow. Just debug it again. See, now it found the record here. Successfully found record. It looked through it and it assigned the probability 50, added it to the collection. Loop ended, then update happened, and it updated it. This is all the debugging steps. This is just debugging your flow. Once you make sure that your debugging works well and it adheres to your filter criteria, your logic, and you're confident that your flow is going to be working as expected based on your criteria and your logic, then you can activate it, and you can like call it from others, call it from Apex or from custom buttons or from your another flows. So that's how you can configure your auto launch flow. That's how you can like automate certain business operations based on certain criterias and your custom logic. Now I'm sure that this flow is going to work. So what I'll do, I'll activate it. I'll go to the flows. I already have a auto launch flow for, or I have a record triggered flow for my what I say for my opportunity object. So I'll go to that, and yeah, opportunity record triggered flow for after events. Since our business use case includes that we only want to uh, update the probability, when the opportunity gets updated. So we need an after update kind of record trigger flow to launch our auto launched flow. In case you don't have one, to satisfy this need, you have to create a new what I say, a new record trigger flow, or maybe you can call it from a apex trigger. So what I'll do, I'll go to my existing flow, and here in the entry criteria I'll see what how they are working. They have, let me just, it will run immediately. Then they have certain decisions. The first is that it runs is amount greater than k 10k. So for our business use case, it is not necessary that amount should be of certain number. We just need that the stage is changed and it is updated to like it is updated to what I say, it is updated to proposal and price quote. Then only we want to call our auto launch flow. So I'll go here and add another outcome, and I'll name it as stage updated to proposal price quote. And I'll just change my API name, and I want to keep the record which trigger this record triggered flow, and I want to check the stage, and I want that it should be changed. Yes, I want that it should be changed. Again, I'll keep use I'll use the triggering opportunity record stage equals proposal. If you want like, if you don't understand the opportunity or record triggered flows in general, we have a dedicated episode for configuring the record triggered flows in Salesforce. I'm attaching the link on the top right section. You can watch it from there and enhance your knowledge in that area as well. So I'll add it as a new version, save it as a new version. So I have configured my entry criteria that it should be changed, and it should the stage should be changed, and it should match with the proposal price quote. So in that case, what I want to do, this is my criteria. I want to call a subflow, and that subflow would be this, the one that we created, auto launch for proposal opportunities. I will name it as auto update probability to 50%. I'll change the name here, and I'll save it. Let's debug it. I want to treat, treat it as updated. I'll check the opportunity. I guess, which was the opportunity? If we choose this opportunity here, then it will trigger the first one, first decision, because here the amount is greater than 10,000. So I'll configure it as 5,000. I'll here I'll choose in my, or maybe I'll choose a 10k or less. Here I'll update the stage to proposal price quote, and I'll hit run. And you see in the record trigger flow, this decision got executed because we updated the stage field, and we updated it to proposal price quote. So our subflow was called, here you can see, and here it got called. Okay, so it executed our what I say auto launched flow, and it did its job. Since this is all in the what I say debug stage, so nothing will get reflected here, and I believe it got reflected. You see, we ran it and it got reflected to 50% because our this flow is activated. I missed that part. Let's see. You see now the since this stage was automatically updated to proposal price code, the probability was set to 50 because we had activated this flow here, and from this record trigger flow we had called or we had launched our auto launched flow. So this is all about configuring auto launched flows in Salesforce to perform certain automations. I hope you have got value from this episode, and you have got to learn a lot of new things. If we have added value to your knowledge, do subscribe to Longswitch Academy, share it with your friends, ring that notification bell so that you never miss an update from us. This is your host Shubham Prajapati bidding you a goodbye for now. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing with Longswitch Academy.